I am going to be the first to admit, I have never listened to the Strokes. I don't really know Julian Casablancas. I don't pay attention to Coachella. Perhaps some people in the chat do. But there is a very popular pre- and post-Zoran New York City type of politicking called subway takes. This is where people are supposed to sit down and have a regular conversation regarding the current status of politics in the United States, and in more specific ways, talking about the very controversial issue of Israel. Now, I know the Strokes, and I know they've been around for a long time. Frankly, I think they've been around for over 25 years. They have a following. They're very popular. And so he sat down for this conversation. And of course, the topic of Israel did come up and was pre-warned about, well, in case you had any intentions of having a career any longer, maybe this might be the end. So enjoy it and let it go. And that's what he did.
What is another take? Give me another one. These are really good.
You want the most controversial one? I know you do.
Yeah, give it to me.
Well, it's been nice having a career with you.
Same. Let's go down with the ship, Captain.
American Zionists get the benefits of, white privileged people, but talk like they are black people during slavery.
100% agree. I've never seen something so shocking where they're like, I'm so
oppressed.
I'm an oppressed person. I'm like, you are going to a wedding in Tel Aviv right now.
And I could not agree with him more. And it's true. And we've heard these conversations. And let me tell you something as we get to Loomer and Candace later in the evening. The bigotry within Zionism is so thick and so demonstrably out front, you can't miss it. But because they've been in control for so long, they're able to get away with it. But kudos where kudos is due for Julian Casablancas. Kudos to a Greek. He clearly understands that his position is pivotal to this moment, as it should be for everybody. Every minute of every day that a person with a prominent position who knows what's going on, knows it's wrong, and chooses not to do anything about it is aiding and abetting a genocide in their own way. Period. They don't have to like it. But remember, if you don't do politic will do you. And he's not letting that happen. So credit where it's due.
When there are 80,000 dead people, and more, 80,000 plus dead people, including women and children, half a mile away. Absolutely fucked and totally, you know what? I don't think it's bad to say that.
I mean, just for the people that are going to be like, Hamas, October 7th, yes, bad, but, Native American rebellions didn't mean it was, okay to do what we did. Slave rebellions that were violent didn't mean that, slavery is not bad. You know what I mean? So that's the scope of that answer, just to be for the haters.
For the media illiterate.
I don't want to, indoctrination is such a strong thing. We want to be part of the tribe. And if we started like burning weirdos, and so everyone just genetically almost wants to be normal. So I get it, but it is a sad fact, the brainwashing of just people in general, where you can't be mad just because someone was like, something was rammed down their throat necessarily.
Do you think that?
Okay. Now, I am willing to give a little bit of grace, however little it may be, because as we have seen, and we've seen a lot of it, we know that people are indoctrinated into this world. However, there are a lot of things that I was perhaps taught when I was growing up, Jen was taught when she was growing up, that we now know is absolutely wrong. Eventually, you are responsible, again, personal responsibility. I know that's hard to fathom for a lot of people. Eventually, You have to take responsibility for your actions. There is such thing, as Jen likes to say, for atoning for what you've done. And there are plenty of people, whether within the Jewish community, the Zionist Christian community, we've seen them, we've had them as guests. We are well aware of this. Atoning is a huge part of this. The fact that there are people who still don't want to speak up and out after 2.5 years, knowing what's still going on. Remember, we're only allowed to see what we can see. I don't think Julian meant anything negative when he said 80,000 people at all. I think he has the info that he has been given. He hasn't dug in the way that we have. But 80,000? No. At least 5 times that amount, if not 10. And we don't say that with glee. We just say it because it's reality. And if the Lancet says it, chances are it's pretty damn close. And what I give these guys a lot of credit for is recognizing that silence is violence. And not a lot of people are willing to say that, but they are. Silence is violence. We'll continue.
There's hope.
Depend on what your timeline for, like, if we achieve
Let's
utopia
go
in 500 years.
Oh, utopia? I'll be long gone.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No.
You want to be hopeful.
I want to be hopeful.
I'm hopeful
by the time I'm
eventually
60
that
things are all right.
60 might be a little young.
I'm an optimist.
I'm optimistic, but I'm optimistic that eventually, I don't know if it's now, but it could be today, it could be tomorrow.
So do you think next, let's just
Later
say
that day, the world rose.
ended.
Ended, okay.
Let's just say next 4 years. Are we going like this, or is there a little boop?
Well, sometimes it has to do that before it goes up.
Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I think that nothing is
people
going...
are awakening.
Well, I don't think anything's going back to normal, though. Because cat's out of the bag, genie's out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Trump unleashed a thing.
We're just still mourning. People are still, like, upset. They're, like, in the Matrix. They're like, what the fuck?
They're like, I
they
can't believe
haven't-
this has happened.
Yeah, they haven't. But eventually, they might become the one.
Yeah. Oh, Neo.
Or they might, be like, okay, let's wear cool leather jackets and fight them. But
Okay. What he just said is the key point to this entire story, which we have been saying for the longest time. Trump let something out of the bag in the world of politics that is never going back in the bag, at least not for the people that have decided to wake up. Because there are millions of people now that are aware of what's going on, and they are not going back to sleep. I'm not going back to sleep. I highly doubt anybody in this audience is going back to sleep. And every day that passes is another person that could join us in this America First movement towards a better tomorrow, because that's what the movement is going to be. Not America only, but America First. And that movement does not involve the Zionist movement. It involves waking up the millions upon millions of the masses in this country that are of the working class, that have to unite around core economic, environmental, and even some social issues. That's our future. And these guys get it. Remember, a lot of issues get put to the forefront because they're good distractions. They're good dividing lines. But anything that involves talking about what is money, tuition-free trade schools, to learn a skill so that you are viable for a future that is uncertain? How about clean air and water? Anything that gets in the way of capital, Zionist ruling class capital, is controversial. And it is silenced, as we've seen.